So in this video, I wanted to review some voice-controlled shades that I've been looking for a while now to replace the busted shades I have down here in my basement room. So you can see along this back wall, I have 3 windows that use some old shades, and they droop down on the French doors, and they block about the top 4, at least the top 4 inches of the window, and obstructs the view into the backyard, really right at the eye level. So I wanted to replace those as well as incorporate a voice control ability to add to my Amazon Echo system that I use here in the media room to control my lights as well as my thermostat and some other things already. So I thought it'd be really cool to find some voice controlled shades. And the ones I came across online were these ones that you see down here by a company called Lutron. They're the Serena branded shades, and they're able to be controlled by either a Google Home or Amazon Echo. And what you see in the boxes here is one box is obviously the shade, and one is the voice control hub or module, and then I ordered also a physical remote as well to add to the system. So I want to replace the shade here next to my desk and computer setup, and so let's go ahead and get that installed and see how well it works. So taking a closer look at the shade itself, the one I have here is 34 inches across, and I think it's about, I don't know, maybe 48 inches long. And so this is the first one I got, which is for the office window next to my desk setup. And I wanted to try this one out before ordering a couple more because they are pretty expensive. But you can see this one operates off 6D batteries. But you can see there's not really too much to it. Depending on whatever fabric color you choose, I chose more like a cloud white. I mean, you can see here it's just basically like an accordion shutter that folds up on itself. And so that's really all there is to it. Like I say, it takes the batteries and has a shutter button there, which helps you be able to program the remote and get it to talk to your network. Now the blinds that I had installed in these windows previously were pretty easy to take out, and they just came with the house. So they're a little bit old as you see, but it was pretty easy just to undo these wing nuts and pull out the mounting hardware. It wasn't nothing more than a couple screws. And the same thing on the French doors, just a couple more, just remove those, and then you have the clear and open window frame. Now, when you put the mounting brackets on here, there's just basically 2 mounting brackets that you slide the blind rail onto itself, and it's just a couple bolts really. You line it up within like 1.5 inches to 2 inches from the edge. You can see here the bracket, it basically releases with this when you press a tab, so that opens the rail to put the batteries in, which I'll show you in a second. But you can see here there's a good amount of wiggle room on the hardware, so you don't have to get it perfectly level. You can kind of install it, get the blind up, and if you think it's kind of linked to one way or another, you can adjust the mounting hardware pretty easily. So I finally got the old blinds removed, and you can see once you get the bracket up onto your window frame, it's easy enough to snap the main shutter into place. Well, I shouldn't say it's that easy. I actually struggled with every one of them because the way that the clip here, the plastic part has to slide in under the battery at the top of the rail. It has to slide in this little groove. You can see kind of the shape of it here. And what you gotta do is just push it up and slide it over and click it into place. I mean, every window took me like, I would say at least 10 minutes on each one, which is a little bit frustrating. But as you can see, I mean, once they're in, it's really secure. They're in there really nice. And you know, if you wanna get to the battery, you just press these tabs over, and then it drops down. You can access the batteries if you need to change it. And there's a button here. This is the shade button, it's called. That's just to program the remote and the voice control stuff. Doesn't actually toggle the shade up and down, which would be cool if it did. There's the batteries there. And depending on the length of the blinds you get, it's going to take, I think it take up to 6D batteries. Might be 8, but yeah, this only takes 4 in total, so that's not too bad. And you can see when you're done, you just push the rail back up and it locks really nicely into place and you're good to go. So the other thing about these honeycomb shades that I wanted to mention is compared to like roller shades will take up a little more space at the top headrail. So you can see here, it is not, it's only like, I don't know, that's probably inch and 3/4. And so if you have a really long window, a roller shade will take up a lot of space at the top. So just something to keep in mind. Yeah, so these are all installed now. Next, what I want to do is show you basically how they work with the remote. And then I want to demo the features available within the app and how the blinds connect to your home Wi-Fi network. And then I just want to show you the magic of being able to use your voice to control the blinds, and really how to customize your voice commands and do some other cool things using what's called routines in Amazon Alexa app. So the hub you get is called the Lutron Casita hub, Casita wireless, and all you got to do with this thing is just like any other hub, you kind of plug it into your router, get it hooked up through the app, and it should communicate with your, well, in this case the blinds, pretty easily. And it does. So I just wanted to show you here. It's a small little box, you can see, and just comes with a plug. But the box is pretty cool. It has a LED ring around the outside. I'll show you here. I just put it in this router room where I have all my other hubs, and you can see it lights up. It looks pretty cool, I think. Yeah, and that's all there really is to it. So hopefully you get it hooked up. I didn't really run into any issues there. The way they connect the remote is once you have the hub, you don't actually need the hub for the remote. The remote connects just directly with the blinds themselves or the shades. And then once you hit the shade button on the remote, all you do to pair is hold down the close button on the remote, and they'll eventually pair, and then it's ready to use. And on the remote you have, well, open, close button. I'll see if it'll focus here. Oh man. There's at the top, so that's open. You click that and you'll see the shades start magically opening, which is pretty sweet. And then you can hit the close button. Well, if you hit it one time, it stops if they're in motion already. So that's close. All right, then you have the up and down buttons here. So if you just hold down that button, it will roll the shades up and down, or down obviously. And then this middle button here, if I close it, the middle button just opens the blinds halfway, regardless of if they're open or closed. So one button will stop it from motion, and then another button, when you hit it again, it will just go to the middle and then stop. So pretty straightforward. The remote is really awesome, and I like to keep it under my desk here actually, where I have the remote for my standing desk. And then this thing, the remote comes with this little clip, so you can just slide it in there, which is pretty sweet. And then I have the hue light control under here as well. So I made it just really easy access. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, it can control the blinds there. So when I'm, say if I'm just sitting at the desk, I can just close the blinds, just reach under there and tap it. And then these will close. The other ones will close, which is, I think, is pretty freaking cool. And that's the basic functions of the remote. This is just the $25 remote. Lutron offers a more expensive remote that allows you to control multiple rooms and gives you a couple other options. But you can still do a lot using the app, so I want to show you all those features. All right, so if we take a little closer look inside the Lutron app, this is what it looks like. And you can see I've named my shade 1, 2, and 3. So the one over by office is 1, that's 2, and then that's 3. And what you can do is within each of these, if you tap it, you can set the slider to whatever position you want to open it to, and then we'll go ahead and open it, which is pretty sweet. And then there's up and down buttons for manual, and then open and close there. And if you go into edit device at the bottom, you'll see you can set shade limits. So what that does is, like, you can set the close limit, how far down it will go when you trigger it to close. And that's good, like if you have something here where I have a USB port in the windowsill and I don't want the shade to close all the way down to the bottom. So I have it just stop right there, and you can set, so that's where you set that in this set shade limits option. And then you can also control your device here, just like how you would have your remote set up. And that's the basic controls, which I think is pretty cool. Now you can of course do schedules as well. So what you see here in the schedules is I have weekend rise. So within that, it just basically tells you on the weekends, open the blinds at 8:30 on Saturday and Sunday. Weekend close, it would just close the blinds pretty much every day at 8 p.m. And if you want to set a new one up, it's easy. And you just select the day, what you want it to do, and then you can set the time. You can do it to sunrise or sunset. And of course, you just name it, and then, yeah, it's set up. Very easy, so it's awesome. So the scenes section is pretty cool too. So what that allows you to do is you can just set a scene for all the blinds. So here I put blinds half, and then here you can select the devices and have each device be set to whatever configuration you want. So I have all these be 50%, so that's called blinds half. And then you can have a bunch of different ones. You have open and close. Those will just close the blinds. You can have 10% open. Now, once you have those scenes up, what's awesome is you can go into your Amazon Echo app. And in the menu, you can see here under routines, you can set up all these routines. So anytime you say this to your Echo device, it will respond with whatever you want. So for example, you can say when this happens, voice, you can say, Alexa, go dark, as an example. And then you can have that action control the group of, sorry, not the group, you can have the action control the scene.
to be closed. So I know this is my close scene. So it will trigger the close scene, which just means close the blind. So save that. And as soon as it updates, you can say, Alexa, go dark. And it should close the blind. So that's the power of using routines with the scenes in the Lutron app. So you can see here, I make it respond to all kinds of stuff. So I have the movie time one, which I'll demo for you. I have one here called Let There Be Light, close just the basement blinds, office blinds 50%. You can have it, office blinds 10%. You could say, Alexa, open the blinds just a little, and then have it pull the scene where it's only opening the blinds 10%. I have this one where it says night-night, which just shuts everything down. So it's kind of custom on what you can do, and that's really what allows these shades to be able to be controlled any way you want using voice commands. Probably works the same with Google Home, but I can't say for sure because I don't have one of those. But I know with the Amazon Echo device it works great. So now that I have everything set up, you can do some cool things when you set a good routine up. So in this routine, you'll see that it closes the blinds. It will shut off all the lights in here, turn the space heater off. There's some LED lights under the couch that will dim to 10% and turn red. And then you can have your Echo device actually respond with any phrase you want. So let me show you what I mean. Alexa, movie time.
Enjoy the show, my lord.
So here's just a peek of how it looks from the outside looking in. I think the blinds look pretty nice. It just looks like basically like some solid shutters. It kind of gives it a little bit of a modern look and feel, I think. And then here's just a quick example of what it's like if you're going to be slamming the door that these are on. See how much they shake around and stuff, which isn't too bad. So these are the Serena Shades, and of course you can get, there's other voice control blinds on the market. You can get ones from Hunter Douglas. They make ones called Duo Light, and if you see on the screen here on their website, it's pretty sweet because what you can do is you can have the top shade just be light and then the bottom of it be dark, but with the whole shade drawn. So that's kind of like a cool function. Now, I don't have any idea how much these are. I imagine they're even more expensive. But the advantage of the Serena Shades that I like is you can see on the website, you just order it online, so you can just put your window dimensions in and then have them shipped to your door. Whereas the Hunter Douglas one, you really got to get somebody to come out and quote you, and it's just like a whole process. So that's a huge advantage of the Serena Shades. And then finally, IKEA did just announce that they're coming out with some roller shades that are going to be able to be voice controlled, and those look pretty cool. They're not super cheap, but they're definitely a lot more affordable. So we'll have to see how those work when they come out. It's kind of a route to go as well. But then those are roller shades. I think these kind of honeycomb shades are a little bit nicer, but the IKEA one's definitely a lot cheaper, so that could work out pretty good. Overall, I'm extremely happy with these. I want to mention about the price because they're really, really expensive. All three of these blinds probably cost the same as a tricked out MacBook Pro. And you might, of course, you can easily argue that the MacBook Pro is a lot more utility out of it, but I think that these blinds should last 10, if not 20 years, which should last longer than any kind of MacBook you're going to be using. You're not going to be using a MacBook 10 years from now, the same one anyway. Anyways, but I really like the convenience and the functionality. I think it's perfect for this media room. I'm just really, really happy with them, and the way that I'm able to control them with my Alexa device, it just works out really good. But that's it as far as the blinds. Now, if you have any questions, definitely leave me a comment below. I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks a lot for watching to the end. You all take care.